Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Today I've got some IU games because I haven't done IU in a while, and it's an interesting tier. I enjoy playing it. There's a lot of good pokes and variety out there. So this first game is against A1d0g, and on my team I've got a choice band of Scavalier, a mixed defensive Uxie, an offensive Crystal, a defensive Crystal, Scarf Groudon, Quiver Lilligant, and a specially defensive Hitmonlee. On my opponent's end, there's nothing really going to be too much of a problem with the appropriate one-on-one matchups, so let's just get straight into it. So I thought he might leave a Crystal just for those entry hazards, so I do go straight away with a Scavalier. And a Scavalier is just one of those Pokemon that I really like to use. It's got a great type, great stats, really cool design, and just a really unusual way of evolving it in games to get one. Unfortunately though, its great weakness is its speed, and even a Hermit Crab with a huge rock in its back can outspeed it. Entry hazards aren't a massive worry because I can spin them later on with Hitmonlee. I would rather just start firing off some big damage, and even though he's more than likely max HP, max defense, that Iron Head has absolutely no problem taking it down to Sturdy. And another one here does about 45% to Emboar, so that's just really great damage straight off the bat. Now, I know most Emboars tend to be choice, but I know that Crystal can live any hit barring the head smash, and seeing that Flare Blitz damage, I'm going to say that that is Scarf damage. Even though Crystal's defense is so good, but it's not really important enough for me to calc that. But on this turn, I perhaps should have gone for counter, but I thought that Layer Spikes would be more useful than just knocking out Emboar. Just because he has such quick threats in his team, I don't want them freely switching. So Crystal goes down, he's provided me with good information, even if he doesn't really do much else. And I can safely go into Groudon because if he is Scarfed then Flare Blitz won't KO me. And if he isn't Scarfed then I can outspeed and just KO because I'm Scarfed, so it's win-win here. He switches to Hitmonlee. Personally I would have just sat Crystal there. Okay, I may have been a Dragon Dance set, but Crystal would have gone down to Spikes damage. And after Crystal goes down he could have brought in Galvantula to KO me because it was still outspeed even after a one Dragon Dance. But now in comes Galvantula, and I didn't think he'd go for Thunder because that's the obvious play. I thought he'd either go for Volt Switch or the Bug Buzz, both of which Hitmonlee can easily take, and then I can just counter back with a Sucker Punch. But he goes for the Bug Buzz, which is even better because Hitmonlee resists that. He was perhaps predicting my Lilligant or Uxie switch, but Bug Buzz was still KO Groudon, so that was a good move anyway. And he now decides to sack Crystal. That's a really good play because he still gets switch initiative whatever happens. He can now switch into Emboar. And Emboar is at the absolute tiniest range of health, but I don't think a Sucker Punch will KO from there, so I just protect to see what he locks himself into. And I don't want to lose Hitmonlee because Sucker Punch is my only priority move, and I may need that, so the best way to finish him off is just to go into my only Pokemon that can definitely live one. And I'm not sure if Groudon can live a Blaze boosted one, so I don't switch to that. And he will go down to Recoil before bringing in Galvantula. And Uxie is at a range of health where it is absolute dead weight to me now, and I just let it go down, get some switch initiative, and also rack up a little bit of Life Orb recoil. So I can go back into Hitmonlee. He knows Sucker Punch is coming, I know Sucker Punch is coming, all of you at home know Sucker Punch is coming, but the only thing that knows the high jump kick is coming is the Sceptile, who dodges it coming straight out of the Pokeball. Thank goodness he wasn't an Acrobatics and Burden set, because this game would be shortly over. I actually thought here he might go for the Swords Dance, predicting me to go for a Sucker Punch, and just go for the high jump kick instead, but it works out because that will clean take out the Sceptile. In comes Kabutops, or Genesect version 1 if you believe the rumours, and I do go for the Sucker Punch here, but he outspeeds and can just easily take me down with an Acrojet. So Hitmonlee doing work, it was a really good thing I didn't just sack it earlier on to Emboar. And seeing that he isn't choiced, I can go into Groudon, lock myself on the crunch, and I really thought that this would KO with the adaptability boost. I didn't go for Superpower because I'm a retard thinking that Groudon would outspeed Galvantula. Thankfully though, Groudon is also a ninja and can dodge the Stone Edge, and I thought he would Acrojet here because I do outspeed and he only has the one Life Orb hit left, so I can just punch it with Lilligant. However, he makes the better play and just Stone Edge him one more time, on the off chance that I do make the play that I did make. So he's down to his last, and really it just comes down to whether Galvantula can KO Escavalier in a single hit, because Lilligant and Groudon don't stand a chance. So in comes Escavalier. He does go for Thunder, he doesn't have Hidden Power Fire, which is a bit of a relief. And the Thunder doesn't quite take me out, he doesn't score the Paralysis, and I can just finish him off with an Aerial Ace, and that will be the end of Game 1, so into Game 2. So, a new team and a new opponent, and my team here is a real throwback to my very early competitive battling days. It brought back some good and some bad memories. This was a time when I would actually legit train my Pokemon, EVs, moves, and all the rest of it, up to level 100. That's right, I trained a Ferroseed up to level 100. I would wish that fate upon none of you. It was absolutely hell. Probably the worst Pokemon I raised was Brailium actually, just because it's one of those Pokemon that is, I think, 1.564 million XP. It was just crazy. So difficult. Like, it would only go up one level every time you go through the Elite Four, and it was just so painful to do. Anyway, so be prepared to see some very odd HP stats, now you know why. And this is a rain team, and I thought it was quite a balanced team. The only major worry is fighting, because I've got 4 fighting weaknesses, and only 2 fighting resistances, so that means the big threats on my opponent's end are going to be the Medicham and the Hitmonchan, so let's jump straight into it. This is a game against Yanmigo, by the way, so I expected my opponent to lead with Quillfish or Whimsicott, and he does lead with the Quillfish just for the entry hazards. And I was just concentrating on getting rain set up first turn because, you know, I've got the Damp Rock, and the faster I can go into Llama Star and just start shell smashing, the better. But he very nicely stays in and just gets up the rocks. I've never seen a Quillfish with Stealth Procs before, but hey, you live and learn. But now he well and truly pulls my prediction pants right down by very nicely predicting the Thunder and going into Manectric for the Lightning Rod boost. However, I do score one right back at him right here. I was pretty sure he wouldn't go for the overheat, perhaps savouring T-Bolt or Volt Switch, expecting Uxie or Ferroseed to come in, so I can live one and if I do stay in. I didn't really expect him to go back to Quillfish, but Bug Buzz is my second strongest move, but it doesn't do all that much unfortunately. So I expected him to either switch back to Manectric or stay in for more entry hazards, so I do switch to Llama to commence the introduction to Destruction. However, he goes for Waterfall, and boosted by my own Rain, that's doing a lot, enough to make it a 2-hit KO. So I go for the Hidden Power Ground here. I have absolutely no idea what base power mine is, but I was pretty confident that it would KO. Surprisingly, Quillfish does live, and I do lose my main Rain attacker really early on. So I go into Kree Health, my Uxie. I've got absolutely no idea about the nickname. It was an Uxie I traded from the global trade thingy in the Pokemon Center, which is why it's a modest nature. That was one of about 5 I traded for, and that was the best natured one. That is also why Quillfish outspeeds, because it doesn't have max speed IVs. So he gets a free layer of spikes up before I can finish him off. And he goes into Ursaring. I've got nothing to fear because Ursaring can't KO me in one hit, I am defensive. But he does pull into a double switch out to Manectric. I'm not sure what he was expecting me to switch to. Maybe the Ferroseed, but like I've said, I've got absolutely nothing to fear with Uxie in. So T-Bolt's doing a decent amount, and rather than try and finish him off, I realise it's going to be more important just to set up the Rain for Kabutops, who is my other Swift Swimmer. Now in comes Kabutops, and I will definitely outspeed anything on his team under the Rain, so I can easily just finish off Manectric with a Waterfall. And he brings in Hitmonchan here. He doesn't go for the Map Punch, and he was saying after the game, you know, I wish I'd gone for the Map Punch, it would have saved me from losing Pokemon, spoilers. However, I told him this, that I would absolutely say no to that. Not going for Map Punch was definitely the better play in my books there, because the Map Punch was obvious, so I should switch out, and he predicted that switch, and him predicting is the sign of an experienced, confident player. It just so happened that I thought he might do something like that, so I didn't switch. Wow, look at that, it's like Counseling 101 from House of Wolves 100. Anyway, back into the game. So, as you saw, Medicham also went down, and then in comes Whimsicott, and he will definitely outspeed me because of his Prankster ability. He chooses to Sunspell me. Fortunately I do break through, and I can X-Scissor him. I was a little bit disappointed that that didn't KO, to be honest. He must have been max defense. I do, however, have Buffalon, who absolutely walls Whimsicott completely. So on the switch, I can catch the Ursaring and just get some really hefty damage with the Head Charge. He's not quite low enough to send in Ferroseed yet to ensure that he dies after the Iron Barbs, sorry. So instead I sack Kabutops just in order to lower his health a little bit from the Toxic, and a paralysed Kabutops won't be KOing anything. So I can now go into Ferroseed, and this Ferroseed was back in a time when I thought max defense, max special defense made for a good wall. Oh, how things have changed. So I know he will definitely go down to Toxic, so I can go for those penultimate turn rocks because why not? You still just have to bring in Whimsicott, so that's one, you know, switch in damage I can get. He goes to the Taunt, very unnecessary to be honest. He could have easily just Encored me into the Stealth Rocks. So I can now just go into Buffalon via the Garvantula. I didn't want Buffalon taking any unnecessary damage. And barring a super mega crit, that will be the game. So that was a really good game, Yanmigo and A1d0g. Thank you very much for them. I hope you all enjoyed that, and with that being said, I will see you all next time. Goodbye.